Hold down the Alt or Option, grab a target for your sample area. So let's grab that right there. And then we can start just cloning that out. Grab this target right there, start cloning that out. Just like that. Okay, so one thing that I talk about a lot is paying attention to the details in your shots. If you're on a brand shoot, for example, you need to, even as a photographer, even though you have stylists and wardrobe people around, pay attention to your subject. Look at the clothing. Make sure that there's, for example, no tag sticking out, no hair tie on the wrist, things like that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up having to edit that stuff out of a bunch of shots in post. So it benefits you to pay attention during the shoot to these things. I know other people are supposed to be paying attention to these things also, but you can't always depend on everyone catching everything. So attention to detail is very important. So this is a brand by Deja Chanel. Desiree Torres, I'll link her down below. First thing I notice here is the hair is a little messy, and that's something I couldn't help that, obviously, as a photographer. But maybe you want to notice these things if you have a stylist. You want to, because you're going to end up, I don't like this. I don't like this messiness at the top, and it's something I'm going to end up fixing in post. But also, pay attention to the clothing. Just little things. You don't want to, for example, this here, you don't want to leave that like that, especially for a brand shoot, something that's for e-commerce, something that's going to be posted. I'm going to end up having to fix this, and I'll show you how I do that now. So let's start out though by fixing the hair. The first thing I'll do is I'll use my quick selection tool right here, and I'll just do a select subject. And I'm just going to select the subject and then just select the background, and then I can sort of just paint over some of this hair. You can use clone stamp, you can use paint, whatever floats your boat. With this background, it's pretty solid here, pretty solid color. I'm just going to try to paint over some of this, make it not look too neat. If it looks too neat, she looks like a cutout. Just want to clean it up just a little bit, okay? So I've got her selected, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose select inverse, right? So now just the background is selected. Going to go over to my paintbrush. Going to set my flow about, you can do 15%, 20%. Right and left bracket keys will resize your brush. Hold down the Alt or Option to get your dropper and select a color nearby. This works real well on this solid color background. You may have to use the clone stamp, something like that. But so what I would recommend doing actually is going to a new layer. I'm going to use the dropper key, get that color right there, and then just start painting. Grab a color nearby. And you can leave a little bit of imperfection there, you know. You don't want it to look too perfect, right? So then I'll come over here to this side, grab a color. You know, you just don't want to have a different color so that you see a line around her or a halo around her hair, right? And some of this hair I'm okay with. Don't mind a little messiness, you know, right down here. That's fine with me. Mainly it was this part up here. I think I'm going to clean up this too right here. Just get that right in there. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to deselect everything. And that looks a little bit better. I'm going to turn the layer off. See, that's before, that's after. I'm going to zoom out. And I really think I want to get this right here. I'm going to go back, select subject again. It's just a little bit too messy for me. I see what the problem is. Let me go back. Make sure that you've got a background, your background selected. It's got pixels in there. Then come to your selection brush, choose select subject, and it's going to find her now. This other layer, when I had it on focus, there's no pixels in there, right? So I'm going to hold the Alt to get the minus, and that's going to subtract that part from the selection. Now I'm going to right click, select inverse again, come over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Still got it selected a little bit. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Tedious work. That's why if you can get your hair and all this stuff good to go during the shoot. It's less work that you got to do later. So I'm happy with that. The other thing here that I want to focus on is this right here. So I'm going to come back up here. Let's just flatten all this down. I'm going to right click, choose flatten image, do another new layer. And so what I'll do here, I could use the polygon lasso tool and kind of come down here and select that way, like this, right? Or, and this should work fine. What I like to use though, you can use that. I like to use the pen tool. Just hit P, zoom in, grab this, and just come in here, use the pen tool, and then you can define these points, right? And really just get them in here and get it perfect. In this little fray here, I'm just going to go right over that, right? And then I'm just going to come out here because this is the area that I'm going to end up wanting to work on right there. Now I'm going to right click and I'm just going to choose make selection. 0 pixels is fine, hit OK. Now I can come over and grab my clone stamp tool, use your right and left bracket keys to resize, and we'll get about this size here. Hold down the Alter option, grab a target for your sample area. So let's grab that right there. And then we can start just cloning that out. Grab this target right there, start cloning that out. Just like that. And try not to run into the line here or you will see a visible line around the edges. Now I'm going to just deselect everything there. I'm going to zoom out and we fixed it just like that. So, lesson to you, unless you want to be fixing this on a bunch of your e-commerce shots, make sure that you're paying attention even as a photographer. It benefits you in the end if you can notice little things like this and you don't have to go through 10 shots, say, and do this little exercise. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching.